I thought I did earlier, but yeah, it was just so random and ongoing. You would never know when it was going to come left of centre. I do remember on one occasion when we were moving from part-time to full-time, and then the salary negotiations became a real bone of contention. And I specifically remember standing in her office where she leapt up out of her chair, put her face approximately 4 inches from my face. She was spitting in my face and telling me how dare I ask for the salary I was asking for, which was in fact approximately half of my regular annual salary. I was offering her that as a favour, and she felt that gave her the right to spit in my face.
Did Ms. Heard ever tell you that she was experiencing any side effects from Provisual?
She didn't say it, but I observed it.
What side effects did you observe Ms. Heard exhibiting?
Manic episodes, similar to if someone was on some sort of amphetamine drug, moving very fast, not making a lot of sense, hyper-organising, hyper-tasking, just very, very hyper.
Okay, want to bring in now from Phoenix, Arizona, former criminal defense attorney who represented Jodi Arias, Kirk Nurmi. Thanks so much for being with us, Kirk. So that was some of the most powerful testimony that we've heard this week. What's your reaction?
Yeah, it's good to see you again, Joy. It certainly was really powerful testimony. One of the key components I think that's interesting when we talk about this trial, and we talk about it with some of the witnesses that are upcoming too, is the videotaped deposition versus the in-person, and the power of the in-person testimony that it's having in this case. We heard from the assistant to Miss Heard talk about, you know, all the terrible things she thought Miss Heard did. But I don't know that that had as big an impact as Mr. Baruch did, right? We saw him get up, we saw him animated, we saw that speech he gave when he was being cross-examined about the anger. And I was watching it this time, I was thinking if I was counsel for Johnny Depp, I would cut that whole soliloquy down, and that would be the end of my closing argument, say that this wasn't right. So yeah, right now, we see these witnesses having a powerful impact for Team Depp.
Yeah, very interesting. You know, there have been a couple of hiccups really for each side, and I'm curious how it might impact the trial. For instance, one of the witnesses for the plaintiffs, who was, I guess, a friend of Johnny Depp, she ended up being excused while on the stand earlier this week because she admitted she had been watching coverage of the trial. And then today there was that issue with the friend of Amber Heard, who Chanley reported on that, what happened in the courtroom today. So how badly do these kinds of things hurt each respective side?
Well, you know, we're never going to really know the full breadth of the testimony that we could have heard, but certainly it's a huge impact. And, you know, I find it hard to believe that the Depp team didn't advise or instruct their witness not to watch any coverage of that. Maybe she did in defiance of it. Maybe there was a big mistake. It's hard to say. But, you know, that just goes to the idea. And with Miss Heard's friend, what was she doing? Was she disrupting the courtroom? Was justice happening in the gallery or outside of the courtroom rather than inside the courtroom in front of that bar where justice is supposed to be played out? And in a high-profile case like this, I've been there. I know that people in the gallery can affect the outcome or can affect the trial. So you certainly want to do everything you can to prevent that, as well as prevent any of the extraneous coverage from coming in as well, because we don't know what Miss Depp's witness heard or saw. She could have been watching you on Court TV.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Kirk Nurmi. And I know you're going to stick with us for analysis on our other top legal stories, including growing calls for justice in Michigan.